real estate biz is drastically changing, and modern real estate success can't be learned in some old course manual. This is everything they never told you about real estate, where industry leaders expose secrets to success, contemporary lead generation, and how to dominate social media. All moderated by your host, the real estate goat and queen of social media, Carrie Soave.
Welcome. I am your host, Carrie, and I am joined with my co-host, Melissa Vascott, and a very special guest, Madelyn Townes. She is a local realtor that I've worked with in Hamilton for a while now.
Hello.
Hi, Madelyn. A little introduction.
Melissa's frozen.
For you. Oh,
Melissa.
Am I frozen? Hello?
It's okay.
There we go.
There you go.
Hi, Madelyn. A little introduction
Hello.
for everybody in case they don't know who you are. A graduate of Carleton University in Ottawa, where she earned a degree in communications. Madelyn decided to pursue a career in real estate after realizing her genuine appreciation for connecting and networking with people. A huge thing you need to have in real estate.
Absolutely.
As a realtor, she is personally dazzled by condo, penthouse, loft, and high-rise developments, while having established a formidable reputation selling resale homes to investors, first-time home buyers, and young families. Madelyn is also an online social media trailblazer/guru with an impressive TikTok following, and credits this present to the majority of her referral business. As outgoing as she is savvy with online marketing, Madelyn is also passionate about fusing her tech talents with her ambition to promote properties. Welcome. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Thanks, Melissa. That was quite the introduction. Thank you.
Right? That was wonderful. Okay, so let's get down to it. We know the name of the show, Everything They Never Told You About Real Estate. So what would be the one thing that nobody told you about our industry?
That business isn't cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You can adapt business to your lifestyle. You can create business out of nothing. And I think we're fed this image as realtors that, you know, we have to show up in the office every day in a suit. And I fought that so much. I fought it. I hated it. I hated wearing a blazer. I don't like dressing like, you know, what people think is the ideal realtor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it was a battle for me for a long time is, you know, is this what being a real estate agent is like just showing up and being professional? But I'd look around me at the office and all these ding dongs, they're not even doing any deals. They show up in a suit and they're not doing anything. So I'm like, oh, it's fake. It's not real.
Yeah.
So that is how I feel about real estate. It's just whatever group, whatever situation you're in, wherever you are, you can always work. You don't have to just put on a suit and call yourself a professional. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah. Like, so for those who don't know, me and Madelyn, were in the same office at Remax for a while. And I don't know if you remember, I had a double-sized office. It was the corner office that Dave gave me, the broker, the owner of Remax, our franchise. And he broke down a wall for me. We had chairs and loungers everywhere. And me and the girls who worked with me, because I had a team at the time, I don't think we ever used it. I was never in the office. The girls would show up to literally drop a physical file in the filing cabinet, and then they were gone. You know? And I always say, if you're in an office all day, are you actually doing any business? Because the actual money-making activities outside of making phone calls, which who fucking wants to do that? It's not in the office.
No, I don't do that.
Oh, God.
We don't do it in the office. We don't do any, it's a social hour.
I don't think that I would have gotten into real estate, but I had to show up at an office every day. It's bullshit. That's not what we do. You don't sell houses in an office. And who am I proving it to? The other people I work with?
Exactly. No. Your clients aren't at the office.
Yeah, they don't give a shit where I'm calling them from. They just know that when I need to respond to them, I'm responding to them on my phone at their convenience, essentially. It doesn't matter where the hell I am. I love that, because there's an old guard and a new guard, because I think we've been in the industry for the same amount of time, Madelyn. And I looked at it too and went, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to wear a suit every day. I don't need a matching outfit to my fucking purse. Like, who does that? So,
oh my God, I did that for a while.
Okay. I'm so sorry for you, Carrie.
You try, right? Because you want to fit in. You want to be, what your idea of a professional is. But it's not, it's not real. It's all in our heads. It's not real.
Well, can I tell you guys a secret? Secret? I've actually showed up to more showings in track pants than I have in appropriate business attire. I would say it's like an 80-20 at this point. And but you know what? Here's the thing. Like, my clients know who I am. They're hiring me because they know me. I don't work a lot of lead gen, Madelyn, so I don't get the I don't get the clients that have never met me before. I get my friends, my family, my SOI, and they all know what they're getting. And sometimes I'll pull the whole, hey guys, sorry about my workout clothes. I just need to make sure I get to the gym afterwards.
I've pulled it. I think we all have. It's like, those days are over. I don't want to put a suit on ever. I don't want to. And I think that consumers are starting to see a different side. They're starting to want to work with more personalities than like the professional in their mind. So I think it's becoming a more relaxed thing.
And times are obviously changing. The way we're doing business in terms of our clothes, it's not just about that. It's the way we're finding business and the way we're marketing ourselves. Which is why I wanted to have you on today, because, I've been doing social media my whole career, but I just got into TikTok. It wasn't a comfortable experience for me, but you've been doing it since the start, right? You've been doing it since the start. And what I used to say about Instagram was that, all of my leads are coming in through Instagram. Like, I even have my past clients, they won't even message me on my phone. They fucking DM me on Instagram, right? So I'm sure you're going through the exact same thing with TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my Roomba just started. Just a minute.
So, okay, TikTok. The pushback that I'm getting on TikTok, and every time I post about TikTok, because I deal with a lot of realtors through my coaching program, they're like, I don't need TikTok. It's all fucking kids on there. And I'm like, really? All kids? Like,
it's not. It's a really interesting app that has changed my life. However, you have to be on it constantly to learn. So I'm constantly watching other people's content. I count that as working time because I'm, getting inspiration. I'm getting ideas.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there's so many features. It's a thick application. It's heavy. You can edit right in it, using all the sounds. It's something that you need to constantly play around with. And you have to post like 3 to 5 times a day. I tell agents in my office and they're like, oh my God. I'm like, that's the algorithm. That's how it works on there.
Yeah.
You never know when your video is going to go viral. It can be the stupidest thing. And that's why having as many touch points on there. And again, I'm taking that from the traditional lead gen practice of, how many touch points are we making by phone, by mail? It's now converted to social media. You have to touch all the time on TikTok for it to be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you have to look at the amount of realtors on there and you need to stand out, right? So like, what are you doing differently?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I have a theory about TikTok. Can you verify for this for me? Because I am not a TikTok expert. I post on TikTok. My fucking consistency when having a bad day is awful and I can feel it. But I feel like lives are more valuable than actual TikToks. Thoughts?
Very good point. I used to go live all the time, and the majority of the clients I would connect with came from my lives.
Interesting.
So that was like a year ago. I've stopped going live because I'm busy, and at the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is, keep going, because my business is in a different place than it was last year. But it is, you're right. It is very effective. That's when I found, a lot of new followers coming in, a lot of potential clients. And when my calendar bookings were the most active was when I was live.
Interesting.
Have you ever done Instagram lives? Have you ever tried those?
Never.
Wow. I've done a few of them, and I do them from like when I'm wasted from a concert, and so many people. It's
relatable.
Right?
It's relatable.
I'm gonna do an experiment this weekend. That's what I'm gonna do, Melissa. I'm gonna do some Instagram lives and see if it's as beneficial, because I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of American realtors who are really doing social media properly. And I was listening to this one guy who built his business on fucking Facebook Lives.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Like, has all of your business started from social media, Madelyn?
Yeah, I was not doing any business prior to social media. I was doing a deal here and there, nothing to brag about. And then social media was it. It just popped off for me.
Me too.
I thrive in it. So I don't do any like typical lead gen. I consider my time making content lead gen, but I don't make calls. I don't knock on doors. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I tried it once, and it's like, this is so not my world, man.
It's not.
And how long does it take to walk up and down a street? It's honestly, it's bullshit. Who's home? Who even wants to see anybody at a door?
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think social media is the way to go, because it validates who we are, as long as you're authentic. So,
exactly. That's the secret, right?
Yeah, you have to be yourself. And I think you narrow the audience down to, hey, I like her, or I'm not working with that person.
Exactly.
So
you get to decide, who someone is. And I was devastated when I got into real estate, because no one told me I had to call strangers and knock on their doors.
Oh, you mean you didn't think they were just going to hand you clients?
Because my phone was going to start ringing.
Because that's what everybody thinks that we do.
I know.
We just are greedy assholes, and they hand us a business.
No one's going to hand you a deal. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
nobody.
I totally agree.
Oh my God.
So I mean, you and I have been in probably the same length of time. I'm like year 4 now. How long have you been in for?
Yeah, in May I'll be. It will be my 5th year.
Okay, so what would you do differently, knowing what you know now, when you started, like, to now, or would you do anything differently?
I totally would, because I wasted a lot of time. I would have started putting myself out there online more. I probably, at the time when I was licensed, the only real way to do that was either Instagram or YouTube. TikTok wasn't around. I would have probably doubled down, knowing what I know now. I would have doubled down on those mediums, and just trashed the open houses, because I spent every single weekend dragging signs out in -10, -20 weather, snow, rain, fog, almost getting hit. Like I said, it was devastating for me the reality of the business is not what, you perceive it to be.
Yeah.
So I kind of reinvented it for myself because I didn't want to accept that reality. Open houses also, like, I hate trying to sell myself to people. I don't want to sell myself. You like me? Great. Let's find a house together. Or great. You trust me? Hire me to sell your house.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the whole, oh, here's why you should work with me. And, are you working with an agent? I don't want to take people away from people they're working with. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So social media has really allowed me to really find my own way.
Okay,
Well,
what's
cool.
the most,
I like it.
Important tip do you think that you can share for anybody? Okay, first of all, do you think it's still possible for agents who are not on TikTok to still break out into it and create a decent following? So that's part one of the question. Do you think?
Okay. Part one of that question, absolutely. I think there's so much room, and people are in their heads, agents are in their heads about, it's such a crowded space. Yeah, but everyone's boring. So if you can, there are some real characters. They're the ones that are doing well. You have to really lean into who you are and be authentic and vulnerable with people. People, they sense bullshit. They can tell you're fake. That's why I always say, stop doing market reports. Like, people don't care how many houses have sold. Go on there, show your life, and be yourself.
Yeah.
That'll get you business.
Yeah, I agree.
I've heard and I've read, Madelyn, that going forward into 2023, the types of short form video that we're creating, the voiceovers, the lip syncing, the humorous stuff isn't going to work as well as more educational content. And I don't know if I agree with that, because just yesterday I posted 2 clips from a podcast with pretty fucking valuable information. And then one where I'm like lip syncing to some guy telling him to fuck off. And like, that's the one that had like thousands of views. And the other ones are like sitting at like 20. I'm like, what is happening?
I think the entertainment value will never go away. Yeah. But I do want to say, I think long form videos are coming back in.
I totally, that's what I've been hearing.
The YouTube is going to it's going to go to another level. And the reason I think this is because just the other day I was washing dishes and I was watching TikTok and I was like, let me just get to one where I can listen. And I was like, this is what's going to happen is people are wanting, and that's why TikTok has expanded so you can upload longer videos, because long form is creeping back in a way, but I don't think the short form entertainment value videos are going anywhere. I just think that long form is going to make another comeback.
Yeah, I've been on YouTube for a while now, but I haven't used it to generate any kind of audience. What I personally use it for and what I coach my students to use it for is another touch point to their database, because it's used correctly, like the cute thumbnail, very engaging, and then you send it out to your SOI from YouTube. I feel like that's the way that I've been using it, because it's so fucking overwhelming. Like, I've been on Instagram for 10 years. I built a great following on Instagram, a great brand. Facebook, obviously, as well. TikTok, I'm getting into that. But like fucking YouTube too. I'm just like, oh my God.
There's more and more. I know.
Next one. What do you use to organize everything, Madelyn? Like, what do you have an aggregate site that you funnel everything out from, or do you just do it all like copy paste?
Yeah, so I use a shit ton of apps. I usually record my videos in the native TikTok app. TikTok, the algorithm really likes that. They really like you using in-app. I've tried uploading like from my camera roll, and the videos don't do as well. So I use the native app. I try and use as many features as possible. But when it comes to, I guess, taking that content and repurposing it on another app like Instagram, I am using about 3 apps to get it from TikTok to Instagram.
Which one?
That includes removing. So I'm removing the watermark. This is a big, social media secret. You guys are lucky that I'm telling you. Instagram hates the TikTok watermark. So I use something called, if you just Google TikTok downloader, SnapTik is the one I use. You just put the link in, download it, perfect. Then I upload it into CapCut because the voice isn't always lined up, especially when you're doing voiceovers. And so I separate the audio, and then I line it up perfectly. Sometimes I'll add like an extra filter on top of that. Then I export it and put it onto Instagram. But sometimes I'll add like a graphic, and so I'm using Canva. It's very involved. It's a lot of work, but I'd rather do that than knock on doors.
It's so funny because I think this is what's going to weed out the old guard, because you're going to have this group of agents that are going to still sell to the 70, 65-year-olds, and then there's the rest of us, right? Like, I'm sorry, man, I want somebody who's going to be advertising my property in every way, shape, and form and getting out there, as opposed to having the pamphlet. Do people even fucking look at the pamphlets when they go into a house?
I do not have any. I now advertise myself as paper free.
Yeah. Smart.
I am paper free. I do not put anything that someone can take from my listings. And you know what? Some agents might argue that that's not smart and that's not the way you do it, but I've never had any issues. I don't want stupid papers printed like of the listing. They can look at it on their phone while they're in the house.
I'm
why am I printing it?
Yep.
Yeah. It's over. Like that whole, I don't like the traditional way of doing things.
You got to find what works for you, right? Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay. So tell me something, because I'm huge on transparency and authenticity. So tell me something about yourself that not many people know.
I am an avid bookworm. I read so much that it's probably mind numbing for people. Like, I've got books everywhere. I'm usually into 2 at once. I can't get enough. Like, I'm constantly reading, and I don't listen to books. I actually enjoy reading them. Not that there's anything wrong with listening to them. But it absorbs a lot of my time.
I love that. I have 3 books going at once. I usually have one that's like, because I'll reread like, Carnegie's books over and over again. And I'll do like a chapter of that every night. And then I'll move on to like Maclean's magazine, because I need to know what's going on, in Canada and in the world. And then I'll move on to a fiction, because I'm a huge fiction girl. Like, I was reading Oprah's book club when I was in high school,
Me too.
Such a geek. And I could never get into the audiobooks, no matter what I did, just because I grew up reading. I think that's what it is. When you grow up reading so much, you can't.
What about podcasts? Do you do those? Do you listen to podcasts?
I listen to podcasts. Yeah.
I do, just because we drive so much. It's like,
for sure.
I need to keep my brain going. It drives me insane if I don't have anything. Music is great, but it gets boring after a while.
Yeah,
I agree.
So podcasts are always up there for me.
And there's so much information that people are sharing out there for free on podcasts, which is fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what is going on in the Hamilton market.
Oh my God.
I like to do this as opposed to market reports because nobody really gives a fuck, and I don't listen to the news because for the most part, they're either wrong or they're twisting the words to make it sound like something's going on that isn't. So I like to talk to agents that are boots on the ground in the market. Like this week, what are you seeing?
Okay, so last week I sold my 2 listings. Now one of them was really stale. It's this bungalow in St. Catharines. I couldn't sell it for the life of me. And the seller was super frustrated. I'm super frustrated. I'm doing everything I can. The price is right. Tons of lowball offers. And I was really nervous getting these lowballs because I advise my clients not to take them. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking the same things consumers are thinking. What if this is the best we're going to get? What if the market, does fall? What if? Anyway, we ended up getting pretty much a full priced offer last week. And I was like, okay, we're back. Not swinging, but it was such a good example of, my value in knowing that I knew we could get what we wanted. Client's super happy. Everyone's, great. Then I get another listing on the market for like a week and a half. It sells firm. And it's like, okay, so I sense things are starting to pick up quite a bit. I've got 2 more listings on the way, and I had done the listing appointments in early January, and now we're listing for more. So I feel like we're at a point where buyer confidence is coming back a little bit. I think it's better to purchase when interest rates are high because that eventually they'll come down. Yeah. So what you can afford now is a great snapshot of, what you're looking at when it comes to affordability. But anyway, I'm finding things are, picking up a little bit. I think we're in the spring market. I don't think it's going to go bonkers. I think we're going to sit at this interest rate all year and we're really going to balance out. That's what I think.
Which is what we all want. We all want this. We all want everything to calm down a little bit. And it's so funny you say that because I just set up 11 showings for tomorrow. We are jamming so many in. And one of the properties I had to take off the list because they have 2 offers registered on it. Yeah. And I'm starting to find that more and more. And I'm like, yes, we've got our market back. I mean, it's a normal market, but
it is.
At least everyone's not terrified. St. Catharines, I keep looking at St. Catharines and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many good houses like in the North End there. Good prices, good housing. If anybody wants to get into the market and have a decent property, because it was such an older community that lived there, you can get giant size lots for like around 600 to 650. It's ridiculous.
Were we talking like Glendale area? Is that where we're talking?
Yeah.
Glendale?
North St. Catharines. Yeah.
The north. Yeah. It's I guess the nicer part of.
Yeah.
The nicer.
It's amazing. It makes me excited for buyers right now. That
absolutely
you can get a real house.
100%.
As opposed to the shithole the last 2 years.
People will always need to buy and sell, and we're going to get back to the market we had like 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? You guys both started in a really not normal time period for real estate, right? Madelyn, me and Melissa were just talking the other day because everybody that we are talking to on the podcast until yourself has been, agents with like 10, 12, 15, 20 years experience. And when they mention how their first year was, Melissa's like, what? What do you mean you only sold one house? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I had to prepare her. I'm like, okay, Melissa, that's actually normal. Like when you talk to any agent heading into the market before this huge, increase in price and the very low interest rates, it was like a very poor year the first year if they were an independent agent and not on a team, right? So that's normal. Let's not ask them why they stuck with their job.
Again, I'm going to say, like, I am a goal setter and a high achiever. So for me, if I would never go into real estate, and I didn't. I was like, I have to hit these targets my first year. Like, there's no exception. These are my targets. And then the second year, it was the same thing. Okay, well, I did this the first year. This is going to be my second year. Like, fuck 2 deals. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, that's unacceptable to me.
No, I did 1 deal my first year. But I will tell you, I didn't do the activities I should have been doing. Full transparency. I hated real estate when I got into it because I didn't realize what it was. I didn't sit there and think, oh, my office was going to give me deals, but I had a couple situations where I was banking on friends and family working with me.
No
and
way.
And they did not.
No.
Yeah.
And they don't. And it was a hard lesson, but I would not change it because it's more valuable working with people you don't know, I think.
It's easier.
It's easier. It's a lot easier. You just feel so many obligations with people. Now, I work with, not all my friends and family don't work with me. I still work with, friends and family who've decided to. And it's a joy. It really is. But it's totally different when someone calls you off the street and says, hey, like, let's do a deal.
Yes.
Well, yeah. It's more self-fulfilling because you earned it 100%. And they're not throwing you a bone. So, which I think is really, that was the beauty of social media. Like, I remember one of my first major deals was just someone I knew from riding. He called me up and he's like, hey, are you working right now? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And he's like, well, we're not working up north. So can you help me find a property? So literally the start of COVID, when we had total shutdown, I was driving up to Mulmer, Creemore, Blue Mountain.
Yeah.
And like finding a 30-acre property for my guy because, and that's an out of the blue, someone I knew but didn't know really well. And he trusted me because I was like what you're saying, got in and I'm like, I have all this fucking information. What do I do with it? I'm just going to blurt it out on social media. Yeah. And people trusted me because I'm telling them stuff about real estate that nobody does, which I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is theoretically our job to educate people.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact, Madelyn, that when you first get into real estate, your friends and family don't trust you enough to use you. And that is the main problem. Nobody talks about this. And it's a real problem. It's a real obstacle because that's your SOI. Your SOI is very small when you enter into real estate for the most part.
Exactly. Mine was incredibly small because I had just moved home from a foreign country and I had been there for 3 years. So all my bridges here were not burned, but they were crumbling. I had no SOI. And so I was really banking on my friends and family, not to bail me out, but to at least work with me. But they don't trust you. They don't trust you. They see you as, Carrie.
Yeah.
They see you as Carrie, not Carrie the realtor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a major issue, I think.
I remember the first year, and I'm like, everyone's saying, you got to do newsletters. You got to email them out. I didn't even know what CRM was.
She meets me and I'm like, throw that garbage out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's my SOI? I literally, no joke, I had 6 fucking people to email to. And I'm like, so embarrassing for me. But I was like I had a manufacturing company before I got into real estate, but I bought and sold and flipped on the side personally. But my SOI, my sphere, all was in the United States and Canada. It wasn't local. We sell locally. And it's like, okay, what do I do? How do I get people,
exactly.
trust me?
How do you generate business?
Yeah. Talking.
Madelyn, you started on a team, correct? Was your first year on a team?
No.
Okay.
No, it was so I was solo for 2 years. Stubborn. I was so stubborn. I was like, I'm not giving anybody half. I'm not giving it. And then I had to talk with myself. I'm like, half of what, you idiot? Like, you don't have anything.
Oh my God.
I'm very real with myself. So then I joined a team, and it was a very productive year. But it's hard to say if it was the team or my social media, because it happened at the same time.
Yeah.
So the team definitely taught me the things I should be doing, but open houses, we were still not allowed to have them because of COVID. So it wasn't that. I was doing very light cold calling. Like, I hated doing it. I did it, but was not into it. Yeah. But my social media was taking off. And I enjoyed my time on my team. I loved working with the team. It taught me, a lot of more, personal things that I should, like mindset shifts. And it was a great year for me. I did about 30 deals on the team, but then I was like, wow, now I'm not going to give half away, you idiot. Now you have it. So.
Right.
But no, it was a productive time. And then, I've been, since January 2022, I've been on my own.
Yeah.
How do you find that?
It's good.
Would you do it all over again? Would you go on a team again if you had to do it over again?
Yeah. Because I really needed to humble myself. It wasn't about the money. It was about, because I came into real estate thinking I was the shit. And I didn't know shit, and I didn't have shit. And I really needed that experience to humble me and say, look, you're not the best, but I'm going to show you how to be the best. And it changed me for sure. And I think it helped where I am today. I don't, give it I don't credit the team entirely for my success, because I built it myself on social media, but it did really whip me into shape.
Yeah.
So I would do it again.
It gave you what you needed outside of what the team could offer.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I consider it money well spent. At the end of the day, I did pay, half of my deals to somebody, and I don't think of it that way. I think of that's what I spent to get to where I am today.
See, I feel like I never joined a team. I've always been an independent agent. It took me a couple of years to actually make enough money though to support myself. And I was lucky because I knew a lot of people in the city. But I feel like if I were to go back the first year, when you look at team, I'd say no. I would definitely hire a coach though.
Yeah.
Because when you're working on a team, you're learning a little bit about systems, but you're not learning how to run a fucking business. So
you're right.
So I feel like with the coach, you're going to get both of those aspects, right? And it's going to be a fraction of the cost. Let's be honest. If it's if you're doing business, the cost is a fraction of what you're paying a team.
That's a great point.
That's just my personal opinion. Remember we interviewed Dana. Dana was on my team. Yeah. We had her on the podcast, and she thinks teams are wonderful. And I'm like, yeah, because you fucking worked for me.
Yeah, it's different experience.
I wasn't
teams
giving.
Are generally not. They're not.
Yeah, I wasn't giving
leads
though, Madelyn. I was giving go and take this paperwork and get it signed because I've already closed it, right? And that's unfortunately that's my own control issues. But it's not usually how teams
I get it.
Right? But I dissolved the team because of liability, right? Liability is a huge thing.
You've got a whole bunch of working together.
Yeah.
I think we're also in real estate moving away from teams because it's just they're all like revolving doors in my experience. It's like so you need the talent, then you get the talent, but they're so talented that they don't need the team. So like what's going on? Are you just gonna have like average mediocre agents who need the leader? No.
And that's what I said to them. I said, you guys, like I had 2 really good agents on my team who were fucking rock stars. Like I ended up paying them to run all of my admin and everything. I gave them, like fucking gold listings, And then there were the agents that were like baby birds just fucking sitting there with their mouths open and didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And there's no in between. So if I were to do it again, I would not form a team. I would hire as many VAs and in-person assistants. I need that all I have to do is physically be in front of my clients. And then for the buyers, because I hate working with buyers, sorry buyers, I just don't have the patience for it. For my buyers, I would have an arrangement with a buyer agent or 2. And that's how I would do it if I were to ever have to do that again. Just my personal opinion on that. And then, nobody's writing offers with your names on them and you're not getting sued. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, let's do I want to do a lightning round of Would You Rather.
Oh my God. Okay.
Let's do this. Okay.
Oh, this will be fun.
Okay, Madelyn, buyers or sellers?
Buyers.
Oh my God. Yes. You're my soul. I love buyers.
There's less accountability.
Oh my God.
I'm just joking, but also like kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Like you're not held. You're not held to the stake.
I know.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Okay.
They're so much more fun.
I agree.
You guys, wait 10 years. Give it 10
Carrie's
years.
over
Okay?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I was like the most fun as a buyer.
Okay, text or talking?
Talking. Phone. I want to talk on the phone.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like it.
Yeah. Podcasts or music?
Podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, how about this? Would you rather work in a big city or a small town?
So I don't know, like my answer is kind of mixed because I love the big city life, but I also wouldn't consider Hamilton a big or a small. It's like medium.
Okay.
So I would probably go somewhere in between. I love big city life, but I also really like the notoriety of being one of the best in a small town,
Right? Big fish in a small pond. It's appealing.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. I'd go in between. That's why I think Hamilton's so great. Is like it really is in between. It's small town feel, but it's a big city.
Yeah. Okay. What's the first thing you check when you wake up in the morning? Your email or your social media?
My social media. Check my TikTok.
Oh man. Okay, here's the real estate related question. Would you rather work with a millennial first-time home buyer and their opinionated father, or a couple in the middle of a knockdown, drag-out divorce?
Divorce.
Really? You know what?
Yeah.
You're right. I totally agree with that answer because there's nothing worse than working with somebody who has very strong opinions that might be outdated, right? About our market.
We've all been to a home inspection with a dad. We've all been there, and it is not a pleasant experience.
No.
It's not.
What is it
Yeah.
about?
It's not.
What is it about fathers that don't trust us? Because there's nothing worse than working with a client that doesn't trust you. There's no worse experience in real estate. Melissa, I don't know if you have gone through this yet, but I go through it every time we have a market change like this. My clients that love me and trust me all of a sudden don't trust me and don't trust my expertise on what's happening, even though I've fucking been through this. Like, I don't even know how many times. It makes doing a deal absolutely a horrifying experience.
I let them go. I let them go. I had an experience where COVID happened and then the market was just starting to go really fucking berserk. And I'm explaining the information to him, and his wife was in another country at the time. And I get this email from both of them saying, "You're sending us mixed messages." And I'm like, "What? Hello there, sir. No, I'm not. I'm explaining the market to you as it's happening. I found them this killer deal and home inspection happened. They backed out of the deal." And I'm like, "You know what? I'm done. I'm done." So I sent him a letter, the appropriate paperwork, said, "Very nice working with you, but I don't think I'm the right agent for you." And then what does the guy go and do? He goes and buys a house in another city that I was working with him in, that I'm from. And the deal, he used the same agent that was listing as buying during COVID. Big mistake.
The worst.
And he overpaid for the house, for a shithole house. And then me being me, I'm watching the house that I got him before in an amazing area that it's literally sold in less than a year later for like 200 and some odd over what I got that house for. And I'm like, "Well, thank you." And I sent him the listing and said, "Yeah, this was a real gem you missed out on." That was me being vindictive. But it pissed me off because it's like, okay, you don't believe me. But it also taught me a lesson.
It's hard. Like, I almost prefer doing the commercial deals because residential deals are all about emotion. And when you throw a big change in the market into the mix, nobody trusts anybody. Like, you could be the number one realtor in your city, and if your house is sitting just like every other house over July and August of fucking 2022, it's the realtor's fault. It doesn't matter what kind of experience it is. It's just such.
Oh yeah,
it's true.
Oh my God, the last TikTok that I posted, I'm over 30,000 views, and the fucking hate from people. Oh, you greedy realtor, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't fucking think so. We're doing our job and we're doing it well. Those of us that are really doing our job. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, that's not our MO. We're not out here to be greedy. We're here to do the job. So, and the industry's changing, and we need to adapt accordingly. And so do buyers and sellers. I want to ask actually both of you guys, how many agents do you think are going to get out of the business over the next couple of years?
A lot. I think a lot.
Yeah. I think so too.
I feel bad. I feel bad for them because the position that they're in right now is actually, like, especially the agents that just started, they're looking at themselves like complete failures when they just got into the market during a time when it was free to fucking borrow money. Let's be honest here. So people who wouldn't usually be buying and selling properties are like, of course I'll buy another property because it's free for me to do it. You know what I mean? So if they got into the market at that point, and now they're feeling like major failures, even if they've done 1, 2, 3 deals this year. And the fact is they're not failures. They just have completely distorted idea of what this business is. And I feel bad and I want to help them because they need to get some realistic expectations of what this job is, how much money they're going to make, and how long it should take them to get to, you know, the point where they sold that many houses their first year. There's actually a formula, you know.
It's a formula.
There's a formula for this, you know, and it takes it's a formula, and it's adding to your database, and it's the amount of leads that you bring in, and then over the so many, like it's actually a mathematical formula. There's a reason why it normally takes you 5 years to make a sustainable income to support your entire lifestyle in real estate. And
that's crazy.
I feel bad to the agents that are really taking it hard and thinking that they're failures, because they're not. They're not. This is very normal, you know, and you need to.
It is normal. I agree.
Yeah,
it is normal. And I think a lot of agents got in when the market was, you know, super high and it was going crazy. And I think a lot of agents think that the money at that time was easy, when really it was actually more challenging, because first of all, you're flying around throwing in offers on properties that have 30 plus offers. You're likely not going to get it. It took us, like, on average during 2021, it was like 8 or 9 offers my clients were writing.
That's exactly what I was. Yeah.
See, for me, I'm a listing agent, so I decided just to, like, I barely had to work, which is fantastic. I literally, I don't even think I left my house that year. Like, you know.
Okay, you can stop right now.
You have to understand, I've been in this business for, it's going to be 13 years now,
for a long time,
right? Like, I've built my business, and like what I tell people, so Madelyn, and I think you can agree with this, is, you know, yes, I run 95% of my business through my social media. That is correct.
Yeah.
However, I built my business on the back of my SOI. I used social media to expose myself more and expose me to a bigger audience. But, you know, no form of, you know, lead generation companies, social media, all of these things to generate leads from people that you don't know need to be the icing on the cake and not the cake. You need to build a foundation, you know?
You need the contact, you need the database.
Yeah. And if I was an agent working purely with a lead generation company, or just on, you know, whatever type of fucking prospecting you want to call it, I wouldn't be able to sit on my ass and have a guaranteed amount of income 10, 12, 13 years later. It's all on my SOI, right? So I'm a huge believer on building your foundation properly.
I love that.
Yeah. I wish that I would have had that structure when I first got into it. And I said this to you, Carrie. I know, but I've said it to you, like, I wish, like, you literally get your license and then you're like, okay, so now what?
Now what? Exactly.
And I'll never forget that moment of sitting in my office thinking, my God, I've got to, like, call people or something. Like, what do I do?
You feel unemployed. Like, I feel unemployed still, even when I'm, like, at home and I'm looking, you know, I'm working on my computer, I still feel unemployed. It's very weird.
Yeah, it is a very strange feeling. And going away on holidays is tough too, because I feel guilty as hell. So
I've never been on one since I've been licensed.
I just got back. It's hard.
I know. I'm gross. Like, I'm so hard on myself. I really need a vacation, but, like, I do genuinely feel bad leaving.
Yeah, I did. Well, this last one was hard.
Do you have a VA or even an assistant right now? Okay.
No, it's all me. Now,
me and you need to talk because it will literally bring your business to another level.
I'll be honest with you, ladies. I feel like even though I'm pretty sure I'm in the top 2 on Rab now. I mean, you don't really need to do that many deals to be top 2, just saying. But I'm considered a busy agent. I'm considered a producing agent, but I still don't feel like I'm at a level where I deserve the help. And I know that's like a personal issue and I'm also a control freak and like, whatever. I'm dealing with that. This is the year I told myself I'm going to deal with it. So
good for you.
Well,
I'm proud of you. Yeah. It's gonna do wonders for you to allow people in to help you. It's gonna do wonders.
I'm very stubborn. I've been stubborn my whole life. I was stubborn when I got into the business, and I'm very resistant to other people telling me what I need. I just have to find that natural flow myself. But I do need to be humbled constantly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're in the right business for that.
Oh yeah, every day I'm humbled. Every day.
Okay, Madelyn, thank you so much for coming on today. It's always a pleasure, and I will see you on TikTok because I watch all your.
This was so fun. Thank you.
And I hope to have you on again soon.
I'd love to.
Thanks for listening to Everything They Never Told You About Real Estate. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. To connect with Carrie or for more information about her coaching program, check out carriesoave.ca or at Carrie Soave and Associates on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.